Okay, testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. Let me know if you can hear the mic, please. Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trader and Plus and the PPI report. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-minute trades. Please remember all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. I'm not a financial advisor. It is possible to lose money trading futures. Okay, so we're here for PPI. Just a heads up that there is margins are raised if you're trading cash on this report. Okay, so you want to keep that in the back of your mind. It doesn't really have an effect in prop accounts. I'm just going to reboot my platform real quick. And we do have our DMM. And obviously, there's a lot of risk on this report. We did get a pretty reasonable move on CPI yesterday. That doesn't really mean we'll get a reasonable move today, but it's possible that it won't be completely crazy. So I'm looking at gold and MES or ES, depending on the amount of risk you want to take. All right, let's look at the DMM. So the recent PPIs have not had huge moves, but obviously the markets aren't the same. So it's like we said yesterday. Um, you really don't know for sure because of all the volatility, because of the news. We honestly just really don't know what to expect. Generally, when you don't know what to expect, you make your setups a little bit bigger. Okay. And the one thing that our setup on PPI is pretty big also, and it's been a little bit quiet. So we've got a almost 100 tick zone, a very large zone of safety. And I'll explain what I mean by the zone of safety in 1 second. So the DMM, the daily trade report, looks like this. Oops. So we've got our gold setup, 55 and 72. So 72 and plus 25 is our zone of safety. 97 ticks. Okay. That's a very large move on gold. Where we are now, to get a little bit above the high, would be over 200 ticks. I just, I don't think we're going to get such a big move that it'll blow out our stop. Is it possible? Anything is possible in this market. Anything is possible. Generally, if there's good PPI news, and based on the CPI, I don't think I would expect terrible PPI news, but you don't know. It's not the same. It's not a guarantee. that there's going to be good PPI news because there was good, the CPI wasn't particularly high, but I think we'll get a very normal move on this report and that it will be a trap. It's been a trap for years, okay? It's been a trap for years. Let me just show our zone, our spike sheet. So we've had some big moves, but we've had no fills also. In March, it moved 57. February, it was a very big move. February was the only recent stop on the trap. So 37 in October, no fill in November. Um, December was a very manageable sized move. No fill in September. So there's been quite a few no fills. We had one outsized move in February. And you could see that going back more than a year, there's been lots of good reversals. So we're pretty comfortable with our setup. Is it a guarantee it's going to work? Of course not. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that anything will work. So the MES has very large tiers, 80 and 120 with a stop of 30. So I'm going to right click the chart, click on strategies, double click trap trade, and then we're going to trigger it at 8:29:55. Now I'm only trading one setup. I'm just trading gold. And I do recognize that if I trade full-size gold, if it goes wrong, it could blow up an account. It could blow up a prop account. And that's the risk you take. We haven't had that happen too often. We did have a CPI report 2 months ago that was very damaging. It was not a good report. It can happen, but as a general rule, it doesn't. So we go on taking the trades. Yesterday we had a whole selection of pretty decent trades, even though they were breakouts, which was very encouraging. So tier one is 77 and tier two is 120. MES, and like I said, I'm just going to watch MES. I don't want to manage two trades, two events at the same time. In these volatile markets, it's very difficult to do that. So I'm going to call that MES trap. So one more time, we've got position size 1 is a 1, position size 2 is a 1. That means that I have one contract on each tier, 829.55 on the activation. The stop is 30, and the tiers are 77 and 120. That's very big. apply it, okay it. So that's my MES setup. If you set your time to 0, you can get a rough idea. Uncheck your setup, disable it, set your time to 0, and you can see where your tiers would be now if the price stays close to where it is now. Okay, so you want to be able to see all your orders and your stops, and you want to make sure that you can see your combine button. Okay, you have a break even button, close the trade, cancel the out of tier button. You want to make sure you can see all those buttons. Okay, and then I'm going to cancel the trade. I'm going to check the enabled box to turn it off and put my time back. And I think for fun, I'm gonna trade it. So what I have to do is get my accounts turned on, my connections, Bullinox, but I'm gonna concentrate on gold. For now, I'm just leaving it. I'll see. I'll make a decision. We'll see how volatile gold looks. The gold setup, down, if you scroll down to where it says label, you scroll down to where it says label. So I'm clicking trap trade. Under setup, it says label. So I'm calling this GC trap. And we're triggering this. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. Triggering at 8:29:55. Stop is 25. Tier 1 is 55, tier 2 is 70. Stop is 25. Apply. Setting the time to 0 just to see where those tiers line up. Very far away from the high. I would be surprised if it goes 200. If it goes 200 ticks, we're going to get stopped. I mean, that's the reality. I would not expect that kind of a move. $8:29:55 is our trigger time. The stop is 25. Tiers of 55 and 70. And let me pick. All right. Okay, just checking, make sure there's nothing wrong with any of my accounts. So I'm redoing the time. 8:29:55. Choosing my Bullinox number 8. So you have to make sure that your software and your charts match where you're trading. In other words, this needs to be on 8, and it is. So my gold trap trade is ready to go. All right. My MES is ready to go. Gold is up $56. So there's definite risk, right? The only reason I'm setting the time to 0 is just to check the brackets. Then I'm going back and setting the time back to 8:29:58, right? 8:29:55. Okay? Deepak, so you're setting your time to 8:29:55. The only reason I'm doing the 0 is just to see where the brackets are going to line up. That's the only reason. I do want to welcome everyone who's watching on YouTube. So I will trade account number 10 on the MES. You know, it's possible we won't get a fill on the MES. It's pretty big. But I think there will be a fill. I think there will be a fill. So you've got the trap. In order to adjust it, you have to make sure your strategy is not enabled. Then you can right click and go back to the strategy, and I can put an account on. Okay, so 10 and 8. In January, I have a video. Yeah, don't forget, everybody, please make sure you've checked your time sync by going to the website Time Is. Deepak, when I put in a 0 time, it does not say order submitted. So look, make sure your strategy is on sim. Make sure you're on sim when you put your time to 0. Your charts need to be on sim, and the software account needs to be on sim. Okay? Double checking the gold trap setup, right clicking the chart, unchecking the strategy. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, triggering at 8:29:55. Stop is 25. Tier 1 is 55. Tier 2 is 70. Choose your account. Apply it and OK it. If you can't apply it, it's because you didn't make any changes. And then enable it in the control panel by clicking the enabled button. Now, you can, if you want to, set up a reverse continuation. Maybe there won't be a fill. Click News Trader, reverse continuation, just trading one position on a reverse continuation, 25 tick target, 25 tick stop, strictly discretionary. Maybe after the news there will be something to do. Same account as the trap, labeling it REV, GC REV. All right. Apply it, OK it, enable it. You get your buttons. That's strictly a discretionary trade. Okay. So the ES, unfortunately, on YouTube, there's not enough width in what they can see. So I'm just moving the chart over for a minute. If someone reminds me, I'll move the chart over after the trade. I need the chart wide. MES, MES on the risk, MES on the risk. I'm trading gold, understanding it can absolutely ruin an account if it doesn't work out. MES, look, you can trade ES, but the risk is significantly, significantly higher, obviously. Looking at January's PPI, January PPI. We had a bond trade back in January that actually worked pretty nicely. And January exploded real up. And then it did reverse. Look at that reversal. It did reverse. And then just looking at December, December's move. We also had ECB that day at 8:15. Here was December, chopped a bit, filled one tier, started to chop, looked like it was trying to reverse, chops around, and it did a small reversal. Small reversal. Here's the news. I'm tempted to use a little bit bigger brackets. I'd rather not get filled, right? On gold, I'm going to increase by 10 ticks on each side. GC trap, I'm going to increase by 10 ticks on each side. So pay attention. 65 to 80. 65 to 80 with a stop of 30. 65, 80, stop of 30. Okay? I'd rather not get filled. There's just a lot of volatility. 65, 80, stop of 30. And you can trade micro gold. All right, we've got about 45 seconds. The orders will show up 5 seconds before the news. Okay, there's the orders. Here comes the news. The news is out. It's a little bit lower than expected. The ES just missed the fill, and it looks like we're just completely wrong on gold, which happens. Which happens. I would, this is good news. I would cancel. I would cancel because there's a possibility the ES did not hit the fill, okay? Gold did not hit the fill. We're not even close on gold. I think if gold goes up and fills us, the concern is going all the way up to the high. It's hard to believe, but it could happen. So our tiers were just too big, so I would cancel the traps. Cancel the traps. How do you cancel them? Uncheck them. Uncheck them. The ES was much closer to an intelligent setup based on these markets. It just missed the fill by a couple of ticks, and it did reverse. Gold, we weren't close, unfortunately. It was very far away. It just didn't move nearly as much as we thought it might. So even with all the market volatility, gold really just, it's already up over $69 today. So it could be very related to the fact that it's been and had so much of a move already. How do you get more? How do you get more? Now, forgetting the traps now, at some point, there's going to be a test of the high of the day on gold. Is it going to be this news? It's still pretty far away. But let's say you want to try to test that with lower risk. Put MGC on 0.625 and you could put your magnet on, or you could do a reverse continuation, right? I'm getting rid of my traps. We're not trading them anymore. They didn't work. But do you want to take a chance that gold's going to keep going up here and go long the market for a test of the high? It's still a little bit far. There's been so much movement to the upside already. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. All right? It's a tough call. Yeah, breakouts would have worked today. Breakouts would have worked. We've been avoiding the breakouts because we haven't been able to get fills. That's been the issue. Safe fills. All right. I want to thank everyone on YouTube. It was kind of anticlimactic today, which sometimes happens. Definitely anticlimactic. Thank you everyone for joining us on YouTube. CPI was a lot more exciting yesterday. I'm going to shut the stream. Hit the like button if you enjoy watching us navigate these crazy markets, and we'll